Hi, I'm Ben Lucas, and this tutorial is brought to you by Tuts Plus. Today, I'm going to show you how to slate the tape.
4.4 Alpha series, Mark.
Scene 4.4, Baker and Charlie series.
What is this thing? Well, it's called a production slate, or sometimes a video slate, or sometimes a clapperboard. Now, why would you want to use one? The first one is so you can do this. That helps you sync multiple inputs, which comes in helpful when you have a multi-camera setup or when you have a dedicated microphone that you're getting external audio from. The internal microphone on your camera sounds like this, and this sounds pretty dreadful. So by slating the tape, now you can sync the good audio and make the rest of your video sound a lot better. If you're looking for more detailed information on how to do this in your editor, be sure to check out the description for the links to the other article that gives you more information on how to do that.
Alright, scene 4.4, Delta and Epsilon series.
So let's take a look at the rest of the information on this board. Now, first is production. It's simply what production are you working on? In this case, I'm doing a Tuts Plus tutorial, but this could be company XYZ commercial, or it could be the name of your movie. Next, we have roll. When you're shooting on film, the roll is what roll of film that you're shooting on. Since we shoot digitally and using memory cards, it's very easy to offload right after a take into an organizational structure in your camera. Most productions, at least small productions, Hollywood still does it, but most of the indie filmmakers are generally going to skip the roll since the memory card is going directly into their organizational system anyway. Next, you have scene. I wrote down 1.4 AB, so it's scene 1.4 in your script, and then camera position AB. Now the letters, you can rank your camera positions. So your first camera position would be A, your second one would be B. If you want to do more than 24 different camera positions, you can do double letters, so that way you can have A, AB, etc. So AB is actually different than if I did A and B. Now, what this would be is if you have a multi-camera setup, it would be scene 1.4, and then your first camera is on position A, and your second camera is on position B. So those are different. Now, why did I say 24 letters instead of 26? Well, that's because you generally don't use the letters I, S, or O when you're doing the slate. They too closely resemble the numbers 1, 5, and 0. So next on the slate, we have take. That one's really simple. What take are you up to? So when I mess this up, then you write down take 3, and we go again. Down here, you have director and camera. So I'm the director, Ben Lucas, and then the camera is your camera operator. In this case, I wrote Henry. So go ahead and say hi to Henry. Henry likes to help me out with my production videos. He runs the tripod and generally lets me know when I'm doing a good job. And then finally, down at the bottom, you can put in the date of your production when you're shooting. You can put down whether it is a day shot or a night shot, an interior shot, an exterior shot. Filter, you can write down any filters that you put on your camera. For example, a magenta filter or even a black mist filter to help with highlights. And the last thing we have in the corner here, it's MOS and sync. Now, MOS was originally German, but it translates to missing optical sound. Now, when you would use that is if you're not rolling sound on your camera, then you would slate it MOS, missing optical sound. So that way they know they have to look for when the clapper snaps down instead of getting the audio. This comes in especially handy if you're doing something like running a Red Epic and it doesn't have an in-camera mic built in. Most DSLRs do, but the in-camera audio is pretty terrible. So sometimes if you're not going to get anything, like if you're shooting at a loud stadium, you might as well turn off the sound and label it MOS, missing optical sound. If you do plan on rolling in-camera audio, then you can hit sync, and that will let your editor know that there's sound on that take. One last thing to look at here is I have gaff tape for these instead of just writing directly on the slate. So why did I do that? Well, the production is not going to change. The whole time I'm doing this slate, I'm going to stick with the same production as well as the same director and same camera guy. So the only things that are changing are the type of shot I'm doing and roll, scene, take. So by doing the gaff tape, instead of writing directly on slate when your production's over, you can rip up the tape and you have a perfectly clean slate to work off of.
4.4 Fargo series, Mark.
Here's a tip for placing your video slate. If you put the slate right in front of the camera, then you're not going to see much of the information on it, and you may even miss the clap. But what you want to do is put the slate as close as possible to the camera's plane of focus, which in most cases is the actor's face. That lets you get all the organizational information on the slate, as well as allow both cameras to see it if you're on a multi-camera setup.
Scene 4.4, Gamma and Hector, series.
So, how exactly do you slate the tape? Well, what you do is you call out the scene and take, marker, clap. So in this case, it would be scene 1.4, alpha and bravo. It's not A-B because it's a multicam setup. Camera 1's on A, camera 2's on B. So 1.4, alpha and bravo, take 3, marker.
Scene 4.4, Jelly Bean and Karma, series.
Clapperboards are really useful and pretty inexpensive. But if you already have a tablet, you already have access to a clapperboard. So on my iPad, I'm running an app called Clapperboard. This is a free app. They just require an email. It has very minimal functions, but it gives you a time code so you can sync everything, as well as when you click right here, the audio cue. If you're looking for an app that's a little bit more robust, I suggest Movie Slate. It's a little expensive as far as apps go, but no more expensive than a physical slate would be. In addition to getting the clapperboard, you're getting the time code, of course, and a log sheet where you can put in all of your camera information, metadata, and anything specific to that shot that you may need to recreate a shot later or be able to do special effects in post. So now you've seen the usefulness that you can get out of slating the tape. I'm Ben Lucas. This video was brought to you by Tuts Plus. Thanks for watching.